Ugly scenes erupted in New Zealand's capital on Thursday as hundreds of freedom protesters clashed with authorities, with a naked woman being arrested after diving through a line of police officers. The woman was dragged away by her hair before being detained as protests against Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern's hardline COVID policies turned ugly. Hundreds of cars, trucks and motorbikes carrying thousands of people drove from across the country and began converging in Wellington on Tuesday morning to start the protests. Traffic slowed to a crawl as vehicles blocked roads around Parliament and in other key locations, before taking to the streets to wave banners and placards demanding the return of freedoms, denouncing vaccine mandates, and attacking the Labour Prime Minister. Crowds of hundreds then gathered in front of Parliament to hear speakers and shout slogans, with some pitching tents and vowing to remain for the long haul. Ms. Ardern said she has no intention of engaging with them. Police have created a barricade between the demonstrators and Parliament buildings, and several violent clashes have broken out between the two sides. Shocking footage from the scene showed people attempting to break through the barrier, with several being arrested and led away, including the fully nude woman. Police had arrested more than 120 people and charged many of them with trespassing or obstruction by yesterday evening. The officers wore protective vests but didn't don riot gear or carry guns, and engaged violent protesters in hand-to-hand combat. Wellington local Stu Main said the protesters felt their concerns about rights being eroded were not being heard by the government. "I'm actually vaccinated but am against mandating people to be vaccinated," he told AFP. "I think it's disgraceful, forcing vaccination on people who don't want it." New Zealand, where more than 76% of the population is full vaccinated against COVID, has mandated vaccine for some professions, such as police, doctors and soldiers. A pass system is also in force, cutting off some public locations for those who have turned down the jab. Many protesters also oppose mask mandates, such as those in stores, and champion the ideal of more freedom. Vaccine passes are currently required to enter restaurants, sports events and religious gatherings, though they are not required for public transport, supermarkets, schools or for patients visiting healthcare settings. Police said they had told everybody attempting to cross the barricade opposite the Parliament buildings that they were trespassing. Police have appealed repeatedly to protesters to leave the grounds and have begun evicting people from the precinct, said Superintendent Corey Purnell, the Wellington District Commander. While police acknowledge people's right to protest, this needs to be conducted in a way that does not unfairly impact on the wider public. Several of the Wellington protesters carried Canadian flags, including an expatriate named Billy, who declined to give his surname. "I'm just supporting the brothers in Canada, fighting for freedom over there," he said. Two convoys have spent several days winding their way towards Wellington, one of which started in the town of Bluff, the southernmost point of the country, and another in Cape Reinga, in the far north. New Zealand was spared the worst of the pandemic after it closed its borders and implemented strict lockdowns, limiting the spread of the virus. The nation has reported just 53 virus deaths among its population of 5 million. But some have grown weary of the restrictions. Ms. Ardern last week said the country would end its quarantine requirements for incoming travelers in stages as it reopened its borders. With about 77% of New Zealanders fully vaccinated, Ms. Ardern has also promised she will not impose more lockdowns. Health officials have been reporting about 200 new virus cases each day as an outbreak of the Omicron variant grows. 14 people are currently in hospital because of the virus. Police said on Tuesday afternoon they had not made any arrests and that organizers had asked protesters to move their cars and trucks by 5 p.m., ahead of the evening rush hour. Wellington Council officials had earlier indicated they were reluctant to order motorists to move, saying on social media, "We must consider the safety of our staff and do not want to put them in harm's way." In her speech, Ms. Ardern said that her government's guiding principles during the pandemic had been to protect lives and livelihoods, and it had done that with its strong health response which helped cushion the blow to the economy, leading to record low unemployment and strong GDP growth.